it removes you.
Yeah.
But, like, then again, so if you abstain, and you're putting yourself in a position where you increase the likelihood of Kevin McCarthy getting that. And so, once again, that's why we vote.
Yeah. The onus should be on the people who make that happen, not on the folks that are asking for an enormously popular policy that people need as they're being kicked off their health insurance in the millions.
Aldo Gomez, thank you very much for $3 super chat. Hold on, we got a little bit more. Hold on. Okay, where'd everybody go? Okay, let me just click up here. The American, Sean White, thank you very much for the super chat. The American people need to see people in D.C. doing anything to stand up and fight right now, and I think that that's part of why this idea caught on. I think that we both agree with that.
Yep.
Ken Mann, thank you very much for the super chat. Love Bree, great progressive voice. Man, y'all know what? I guess I'm chopped liver up in here. That's cool. I mean, it is what it is, you know. Her hair does look better than mine today. It's okay. I understand that. Anthony, thank you very much for the super chat. Talib said to Mehdi Hassan, our residents don't want us. Oh, what? Referring to force to vote. Oh, don't want us to. Oh, don't want this. I can't read. I got my glasses on. So on Mehdi Hassan's show, she said that our residents don't want this, referring to force to vote. I live in her district and have contacted her on the issue. Do you believe that the residents of Wayne County don't want this?
You know, I'm skeptical. I'm not going to pretend to know, better than Rashida Tlaib what's happening in her district, but I do think that to the extent that calling your congressperson, emailing them, I sent a message to mine through the online portal like 2 days ago. It's very easy to do that. So I think if you register, if this is something that you want, I think that you should go online, figure out who represents you if you don't know already, and reach out to them. It tends to be fairly easy. Give them a call if you can. Send them a message, a letter if you can. Email them if you can. Because that kind of pressure really does have an effect. The Tea Party was effective in large part because they just kept a pressure campaign made life very uncomfortable for Republican representatives. They went to town halls. They protested outside of their office places. AOC taught us how much political attention you can bring to the issue by showing up day one in Nancy Pelosi's office with dozens of young people with the Sunrise Movement, right? That was
that was trending for like 2 or 3 days straight.
Right. That kind of thing works, and it's incumbent on us if we want this to happen. I said this before this all really blew up. I went on Rising to talk about Senator Turner's prospective run, and in that conversation, I brought up the Jimmy Dore idea because there was a question to me about what can Senator Turner do? What can having more progressives in Congress really do? And this is one of those moments that has taught us what having progressives can really do. AOC taught us with those kind of stunts what progressives can really do. She put the Green New Deal on the map in a big way and really raised public consciousness about it and created a real swing on the polls so that majorities of Americans across the aisle are in favor of it. These things matter.
Yeah, that's true. And shout out to Nina. And to be honest with you, I don't really think that because Nina obviously won't, if she does or when she does win, she won't be there to force his vote. However, she's even on Twitter saying, I don't understand why this is a debate, guys. This is like a non-debatable issue. It is what it is. And, that type of behavior, though, is what or misbehavior even, is what we need in Congress. Someone to be there and be like, I don't know what y'all talking about, but I'm going to go over here with my people. I'm an activist. It's how I got here. It's how I'm going to remain here. And otherwise, I shouldn't be here. And if I get, and Nina has had that mindset clearly for a while, which is if I get removed from whatever position I'm in because I'm fighting, well, then so be it. I'll deal with it when it's time to deal with it. But she even said in one of her interviews with Tulsi recently, she said, she's like, I'm with the people. That's my spot. And that's where I'm always going to be at. And people basically were driving her to run. I mean, I was like, you need to run. Please, for the love of God. And so I'm so glad she's running. Shout out to Nina. Thanks for everything that you're doing. Bernard, are you concerned that because of this withhold the vote traction, progressives in Congress might try to sell some kind of bait and switch alternative to Dore's plan? I mean, the short answer is yes. I don't know what the bait and switch could be. It's not. They're trying to come up with the excuses right now, and it's not working.
Right. So, it seemed like ASU was supportive of David Ceruta's suggestions, which I'm supportive of too, in addition to the Medicare for All floor vote. And one of the main suggestions was about committee assignments, and the events of the last couple of days have demonstrated that playing nice for committee assignments doesn't seem to have worked. So if we really do care about committee assignments, let's see, maybe tying them to whether or not Nancy Pelosi gets to be a speaker will have some influence. The problem is that in a lot of ways in that intercepted interview, AOC got herself into a position where it's the worst of all possible worlds. She said she thinks that leadership should be out, that Nancy Pelosi needs to go, but she also said she wasn't willing to force the vote.
What does that even mean?
So she signals something negative about Pelosi while admitting that she's never going to do anything about it, which it's going to allow Nancy Pelosi to feel empowered to punish AOC for talking negatively about her.
Mm-hmm. Which she does almost every time, by the way.
Yeah, but then Pelosi has no need to fear for retribution because they've already said they're not going to do anything about it.
And I do think that there should be something to be said. Cause I know people think that like there's a hyper focus on AOC, but I do believe that one, AOC kind of put that focus on herself by responding because the rest of the squad hadn't really responded yet. So that's one.
Yeah.
But two, I think that realistically, if we're being objective, the rest of the squad feels emboldened if they know AOC can get behind something because of the massive following she has. It's different than when Rashida says something by herself and then she has to go it by herself. I mean, to be frank, because like that's just a pattern that we have seen in the past. But when AOC says it and they can get behind her brand and then get those interviews and be like, look, there's a lot of these people said this and everybody agreed. AOC said it too. I think that there's something to say, like, because of her brand, it can empower the squad to be more bold of policy. I think that's also part of the reason that they put the onus on AOC to lead this charge. What do you think?
Yeah. Look, okay, here's what I'll say this. I'm like nobody. Okay, like I have no power in the world.
I wouldn't say you have no power. You don't get attacked as often as you do with no power.
I have a little bit of a Twitter following and a podcast that's doing all right, I guess. But in the grand scheme of things, like I have no real financial resources. I can't buy a TV ad. I can't hire more than one staff member for a podcast.
Indie media world ain't as lucrative. The real indie media world ain't as lucrative as people think it is.
Like I don't like if I money were an object, I would still be a lawyer. But the point of the matter is that even with my platform, I feel a certain level of responsibility, and I know that I can have a certain degree of influence. And AOC's platform is enormous. It's enormous. Sometimes I fantasize about waking up and seeing AOC having tweeted, "Joe Biden doesn't support Medicare for all."
I swear. That's it. Just one time.
Joe Biden sucks. Joe Biden's evil. I'm not even asking you to say anything about his character in the least. Just the simple truth that 14 million people.
Fracking is bad. Like, yeah, we know.
Right. Like, imagine if all the members of the squad tweeted, 14 million Americans have just lost their employer-based health insurance. Joe Biden doesn't support Medicare for all. Yep. Joe Biden said he would veto Medicare for all in the middle of a pandemic.
And by the way, Democrats have been pretty willing to criticize other Democrats that they disagree with publicly in the past. Obviously that's kind of like pre-Trump era that was a thing. But like you need to get back to it because the Republicans have had zero problem criticizing Trump when they feel like they need to criticize him. And you can even make an argument that that's how they got him to do the worst things that he's done. Right? Because they have followers and they wield it. Brent McKinney, thank you very much for the super chat. We love you too, Niko. Keep up the great work, Bree. You ain't got a lot of me, Craig. It's okay. I appreciate you guys.
I don't think I didn't love you, Niko.
No, I love my artists. My artists are dope. So they're diverse. The cultural backgrounds, the political backgrounds. I love all you guys. Will Henke. Hey, I'm Will. What's up, Will? I'm 14, about to be 15. And you're watching this show? Ooh, watch my mouth.
Oh, Will.
You're involved. You're already more interested in politics than I ever was at 15 years old, and I was in debate.
Right.
No, he said his father really needs retroactive unemployment. They say we won't lose our home, but I hear them argue we need it. Oh, man. That's heartbreaking.
Jesus. I'm sorry, Will.